He is still saying he didn't lose the election. I would just ask that. Did he lose the 2020 election?
Tim, I'm focused on the future. Did Kamala Harris censor Americans from speaking their mind in the wake of the 2020 COVID situation?
That is a damning non-answer.
Has she?
What's going on, y'all? So, had the vice presidential debate last night, and it was interesting in that it was actually kind of boring. I can't remember the last time we had a normal debate in this country. I mean, like, in the age of Donald Trump, we're so used to, you know, these moments where, like, you have him screaming over somebody else, or he's shrieking about Haitian migrants eating people's pets, or dick measuring contests, or what have you. And then we also didn't have Biden do the thing where he's like, his brain just completely like melts out of his ears, and he goes, we finally beat Medicare. So this is a normal debate. So I got a couple of thoughts on it. There were some questions I liked, some questions that I really didn't like. And we're going to go over the one moment that I think definitely solidified the debate for one person. So I'll give you my opinion on that. But before I do, go ahead and like the video if you haven't already. And if you're not subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. It helps get it out to more people. Okay, so this debate, the first question right off the bat, I absolutely hated this question. The question was framed from an extremely hawkish, right-wing perspective. I forget her name, but she asked them both, like, would they support a preemptive strike on Iran, like by Israel? Which is like, we're not asking the question, like, what would we do? Maybe we should, you know, slow down the amount of weapons or cut off the weapons that we're giving to Israel, seeing as the violence has only increased in the Middle East. No. Would you support a preemptive strike by Israel on Iran? First of all, they've already done that. And they're bombing in Lebanon, and they're bombing other Iranian proxies. So completely ridiculous question. Neither candidate did a really good job of answering that one. What I want to talk about, though, is the one clip, the one moment that I think is where JD Vance absolutely lost this debate, and it's about the question of January 6th. And so we're going to watch how he handles that, and then I'll give you my thoughts in just a second.
And it manifested itself because of Donald Trump's inability to say. He is still saying he didn't lose the election. I would just ask that. Did he lose the 2020 election?
Tim, I'm focused on the future. Did Kamala Harris censor Americans from speaking their mind in the wake of the 2020 COVID situation?
That is a damning non-answer.
It's a damning non-answer for you to not talk about censorship. Obviously, Donald Trump and I think that there were problems in 2020. We've talked about it. I'm happy to talk about it further. But you guys attack us for not believing in democracy. The most sacred right under the United States democracy is the First Amendment. You yourself have said there's no First Amendment right to misinformation. Kamala Harris wants to use the power of government and big tech to silence people from speaking their minds. That is a threat to democracy that will long outlive this present political moment. I would like Democrats and Republicans to both reject censorship. Let's persuade one another. Let's argue about ideas, and then let's come together afterwards.
You can't yell fire in a crowded theater. That's the test. That's the Supreme Court test.
Tim, fire in a crowded theater. You guys wanted to kick people off of Facebook for saying that toddlers shouldn't wear masks.
Senator, the governor does have the floor.
Fire in a crowded theater. That is criticizing the policies of the government, which is the right of every American.
Senator, the governor does have the floor for 1 minute to respond to you.
Yeah. Well, I don't run Facebook. What I do know is I see a candidate out there who refused, and now again, and this, I'm pretty shocked by this. He lost the election. This is not a debate. It's not anything anywhere other than in Donald Trump's world. Because look, when Mike Pence made that decision to certify that election, that's why Mike Pence isn't on this stage. So America, I think you've got a really clear choice on this election of who's going to honor that democracy and who's going to honor Donald Trump.
Absolute train wreck. He could not answer the question. And honestly, like, JD Vance is between a rock and the hard place being Trump's VP and having to answer this question. Because if he says, yeah, obviously Trump lost the election, Trump is probably going to kick him off the ticket and replace him with, RFK Jr. or something like that. So he's not allowed to state the obvious, which is that, like, yes, Trump lost, and yes, they tried to stop the certification process. And he does this super dumb and, like, really unartful pivot to starting to talk about, like, free speech. What are we talking about? You're allowed to go to the Capitol and protest. That's fine. But that's not what happened. And that's also not what Trump advocated for. Everybody loves to do this line about how he said, go to the Capitol peacefully. He told people to fight like hell. Peacefully, but fight like hell. And you've got people that were literally like ramming cops with bike racks and flagpoles and bear mace and breaking into windows. And you can't attack people. That's not free speech. You cannot break into the Capitol building. That's not protected speech. Okay? And like, this one thing is the reason he's still losing a lot of independents. He cannot get past the fact that, like, he will not accept that he actually lost to Joe Biden. And I'll admit, it's super embarrassing to lose to Joe Biden. But he will not admit, I mean, it's even more embarrassing to lose to Donald Trump, and Hillary has to deal with that for the rest of her life. But he won't admit it. And it's the thing that turns off normies the most. And those are the people that Trump actually needs to win in order to win an election. He has to convince people that he's not that extreme. The people that are going to vote for Trump are ride or die Trump, no matter what. He has to pick off the, not quite so crazy Republicans and the, right-leaning independents or unaffiliated. But like I said, Vance is in an impossible place because he can't state the obvious because it'll piss off Trump. And so he has to go along with this crazy lie, which makes him look like a ridiculous person. But I mean, that's your job as VP. And I don't understand why anybody would want that job, knowing what happened to Trump's last VP, which Tim Walz brings up. He's like, the only reason Vance is standing on this stage right now is because Mike Pence didn't certify the election. It's the only reason Mike Pence is not his running mate again. The only one. So, in my opinion, I think that on policy, Vance didn't do as well as Tim Walz, but on style and delivery, I think that Vance did a better job. If you had to go off of like just vibes, I think either candidate you could make a case. If you're a person who supports the Democrats and Tim Walz, you can make a very good case for why Tim Walz won. If you're a Republican, you like JD Vance, you can make a good case for why JD Vance won. This issue, though, I think is what would have put Tim Walz over the top and why I would say that he won the debate. It happened right at the end. And again, this issue, alongside the abortion issue, is absolute kryptonite to the Republicans, and they don't have a good way of navigating it. So, like I said, that's my opinion. I think Walz won based on that. Will it matter at all? Probably not. It's a VP debate. I mean, nobody votes based on the VP. But let me know what you guys thought about it in the comments below. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.